Yes, indeed, Duncan Mutua, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm here at Lobo Village. It's just there's an echo if they can sort it out. I'm just starting here at Lobo Village in Kapseret constituency, Eldoret city in Uasin Gishu County, where, of course, it has come to an end. Just a few, around 10 minutes ago is when we had the presentation ceremony, Duncan Mutua, of the winners in the elite men's and women's races. That is the 10-kilometer race in the 2026 ABSA Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Tour. This lovely, wonderful venue here in Uasin Gishu County. And of course, just to give you quickly updates of what exactly transpired in the men's category, that is men's elite race, 10-kilometer event. The Boston Marathon champion, Los Angeles champion, New York champion, John Korir managed to beat Ebenyo and shrug off safe competition from Ebenyo to win at the 2026 Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country event here at Lobo Village. So my good friend John Korir was able to beat very tight in a tightly contested competition in that actually to the tape. And I'm looking at Amos Kiprotich and Senchura Silas, who finished in second and third places respectively, and they walked away with some lovely cash prizes. Remember, this ABSA Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country event is a World Athletics gold level competition, which definitely attracts some huge cash prizes. In the women's category, that is the 10-kilometer elite race, Agnes Ngetich managed to write or make history by winning this competition back to back. Agnes, remember, of course, is a world champion gold medalist in the World Cross Country competition. He managed, of course, to secure her second back-to-back title. That is writing history of this ABSA Sirikwa Classic cross country event here at the Lobo Village. She was followed by Chep Kemoi and Manangole, who came in second and third places respectively. Of course, I'm sure you're hearing that those are sounds of a chopper helicopter. We had the CS of Interior, Bwana Kipchumba Murkomen, who was the main guest of honor at this particular event. That's why you're hearing the chopper sounds whirling just above us right here at the Lobo Village. So that's, of course, how the 10-kilometer women's race went about. And also, earlier on, in the 2-kilometer men's and women's races, Reynold Cheriot won in the 2-kilometer loop men's event, while Naomi Korir won the ladies' 2-kilometer title loop event here at this particular event. And remember also, there were other competitions for the 13 to 15 years, 9 to 12 years, and 5 to 8 years competitions, which happened here, which of course gives a good platform for upcoming athletes to be able to nurture and grow their talent. Remember also at this particular competition, we had former past athletes, champions who have raced in different competitions. Talk about 1500 meters, for example, Asbel Kiprop. We had Ezekiel Kemboi, we had Abel Mutai, we had who else was here? Wesley Korir was here as well. Some top former athletes were here just to give motivation to the ones who are upcoming and already those who are already racing. So we managed to speak. Remember, this event, the main sponsors are ABSA Bank, who have actually made sure that they not only nurture talent on the track, they also give opportunity to athletes to be able to, to engage them in financial literacy. Remember, these athletes win a lot of money. Then how do you manage this money? And of course, that's where this ABSA Bank comes in to show them ways and to teach them how to manage their finances when, they become successful in their running. So, of course, also we managed to speak to marathon legend Eliud Kipchoge, I managed to speak, as I've told you, Ezekiel Kemboi. We managed to speak to, I'm looking at who else there. We spoke to a host of other former and current athletes about this particular event. And I know the producer of this particular show, Boniface Kimanzi, has lined up those particular interviews. So let's just listen into what they had to say. We managed to interview them earlier on about this ABSA 2026 Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country.
So one of the most amazing ladies coming up for those who are going to ready to start with your name.
Yes.
The 5,000.
Okay.
And then the cross country. ABSA sponsorship.
Yes.
How has it been today?
Yeah. Okay. 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 Good afternoon. Here from Lobo Village in Eldoret. My name is Mwihaki Washira, Marketing and Corporate Affairs Director for ABSA Bank Kenya. Really happy and excited to be here. Fifth time in a row that ABSA is sponsoring the ABSA Sirikwa Classic. And for us, really, our investment is threefold. One, on the business front, is to ensure that we are enabling our customers in the Eldoret region to prosper with their businesses. We are happy to have met a number of them while on this visit here to Eldoret, and some of them are even here as part of the suppliers and the people who have set up at Lobo Village. So we are really grateful to be enabling that side. The second front for us is really around the athletes themselves. We've got over 3,000 athletes participating here today, and one of the big things that we've done over the last couple of days is to meet with them, to speak.
Information that we were able to gather from some of the people who were able to speak to us earlier on. Those are athletes, officials. Remember, we also spoke to the CEO of the Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Marathon, that is Barnaba Korir. We were able to speak also, of course, to other top athletes. We were able to, of course, to be able to give it to you a little bit later on this show. I know my colleague Duncan Mutua is, of course, will be able to share with you, together with the producer Boniface Kimanzi, about exactly to share those particular bites, of course, what ABSAs were able to gather from the top athletes and officials from this particular event. So remember, this event usually is a melting pot for athletes who participate in marathons and also on the track. They come and meet at this particular event every year. They get an opportunity. Remember, this event is in its fifth year, so to speak. Its fifth edition. 2026 is the fifth edition of this event. The first event was known as the Agnes Tirop Memorial cross-country event. That was the first name for this particular competition before the name shifted to the ABSA Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Tour. So this event has huge significance in terms of nurturing talent and growing talent and giving a platform for athletes to express themselves. Remember, it was not only Kenya that was in this particular event. 15 other nationalities were represented here at the Lobo Village in Kapseret constituency, Eldoret City, Uasin Gishu County. 15 nationals, and that of course translates into a huge economic boost for the people of Eldoret in Uasin Gishu, as well as a huge boost in terms of sports tourism for the country. Remember, 15 nationals. This event, as I told you, World Athletics Gold Level event, then attracts a huge attention from across the world. Athletes all over, of course, were here to participate in that competition, Duncan. So therefore, it was very significant, it was very historic, and definitely we were right at the heart of history making here at the ABSA 2026 Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Championship here at the Lobo Village. So we are glad, of course, we were able to share with you exactly what happened or transpired today. We are working, myself together with my camera person, that is Jones Nganga, here on the ground. We are working on a report for our 7 p.m. bulletin as well as a 9 p.m. bulletin. We shall be able to give you, full details of exactly what transpired here at this great venue. From, of course, Asia Jones Gaga and myself, Tony Kwalanda, of course, I take you back to studio to Duncan Mutua.
All right, Tony, thank you so much for giving us the update on what is happening in Eldoret at the Sirikwa Classic. That is a world event. It's a Sirikwa Classic cross country. And speaking of Sirikwa Classic cross country, before tuende kule Eldoret, we were talking matters to do with Football Kenya Federation Premier League. That is the SportPesa League. and Sofapaka tulikuwa tunamalizia